The man just breathed lightly on the window. A string of mysterious symbols appeared instantly. He knew right away. The storm outside the plane was not natural weather. Something was using dark magic to control it all. So he quickly pulled the staple off a magazine and dropped it into a glass of water. The staple slowly spun in the water, and Paul locked in the direction. Next second, he walked straight up to a young girl. But the problem was not the girl herself. It was a storm gem she was carrying on her. Right at that moment, the gem activated at full power. The storm hit hard and the plane started shaking violently. Passengers all over the cabin were panicking, but Paul stayed completely calm. He pulled out some magic powder and dusted it over the gem, then used tweezers to lift the gem off. Next second, the sky outside cleared up instantly. The plane was out of danger, but Paul acted like nothing even happened. He was already chatting up a flight attendant. The reason he was so chill is because he is an 800-year-old sorcerer. 800 years ago, humans launched a war against an evil witch, and Paul was the one leading the charge. But when they stormed into the witch's lair, his men all got turned into monsters. Paul quickly cast a spell on his sword and killed every single one of them, but when he finally faced the witch herself, he was no match for her at all. She almost dragged him into the abyss. Right at the last second, Paul lit the holy oil on the ground. Fire swallowed the entire lair instantly. In the chaos, he struck the witch. But right before she died, she left behind a curse. She made Paul unable to die, and doomed him to be alone forever. From that day forward, Paul became a sorcerer who would never age. For 800 years, the only one by his side was his butler. And today was the day that old butler retired. Before leaving, Paul gave him his fountain pen as a keepsake, but Paul had no idea. That gift ended up costing the old man his life, because the very next day, Paul got the news that his butler had passed away. To find out what happened, Paul brought his new butler and went to the old man's home. But no matter how hard they searched, nothing in the house seemed wrong. Just as they were about to leave, Paul suddenly spotted something on the floor. 3 dead flies. Something felt off, because every single window had been shut the whole time. How did flies even get inside? And exactly 3 of them. So Paul scattered magic powder across the floor. Next second, a magic circle appeared on the ground, and then, the entire room started shaking. They realized this was an illusion magic circle, which meant the old butler was most likely killed by a witch, and the fountain pen Paul gave him had already been taken by the killer. It was obvious. All of this was aimed at Paul. Right then, Paul made up his mind. He was going to find out who was really behind all of this.